Hey everybody, welcome back to the culcom podcast. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Taya.
Okay, today we're going to look at one of the culcom topics. What's our topic today, Taya?
Today we are talking about languages.
Ooh, this is a powder keg.
I love talking about languages.
Great, so let's just jump right into it.
Yes.
So Taya, how many languages can you speak?
I would say fluently 3.
Okay.
German, English, and Korean.
Wow.
And then I speak like bits of other languages here and there. So it's hard to like put a number on it because it's always like what really counts as actually speaking a language.
So like fluency, you would say 3, and then survival maybe
a bit here, like understanding parts of it. Yeah.
Like ask for directions,
Right.
order coffee.
There's a huge difference between like understanding and speaking a language, I think so.
Right. For me, I would say 2. Okay, so English and Korean. Then, I have like basics in a few languages, French, some Spanish, like Japanese, some, like even Russian I've started picking up a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, but I would say it's speaking 2. I would say just 2. And even that, like you were saying, like speaking and understanding are 2 different things. Like,
Definitely.
Have you ever heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect?
No. What's
So it's basically the opposite of imposter syndrome. So when someone starts something, they think that they're very proficient in it. But then the more they actually study it, they realize that they're they're just an amateur.
Right.
Like a classic example is like you could see a picture of a star, and you're like, oh, that's a star, and you could see it. But then as the picture widens, like when you see, oh wait, it's actually something small that's part of a bigger picture, and then that you actually like, oh man,
I know nothing about it.
I know nothing about it. Yeah.
I see. Because when I first started learning Korean, years ago, 5 years, I started learning Korean like 11 years ago.
Oh wow.
But even like 5 years ago, I thought I was so good at it.
Yeah.
And now that I think back, I'm like, I was not good at. Now I'm good at it. But then.
Yeah, I remember like even on Facebook, like I have friends that are just like can say 안녕하세요, and they know how to say like like I'm going to school, like 학교에 가고 있습니다, and they're like going, oh, I speak Korean. I'm like going, fuck, no, you're a liar.
Get out.
Number 2, which are the easiest and most difficult languages to learn?
Right. So usually you would think for English speakers, it's going to be languages like Mandarin or even like Russian, Arabic, Asian languages in general, Korean, Japanese. But I used to think that Mandarin Chinese was really hard to learn. But because I started learning it around 2 years ago-ish by myself.
Okay, yeah.
And it's actually like if we're just talking about like the talking and understanding part, it's really not as hard as I thought it would be. It's just the writing that I didn't even get to because I was like,
that's so on your thing. That's actually why I'm scared of Chinese, because the alphabet is like 10,000 characters.
You can just if you just want to speak to someone, and I just want to be able to speak and like understand people. Reading, I'm like,
it's different. So I guess to learn. Because there's different components. There's the listening, the speaking, but the reading and writing is a totally different,
different thing, definitely.
Yeah. So but as a native English speaker, I've heard, there's different categories. So for English, it's like your level 1 native speaker, and then level 2 would be languages that are similar to that. So like English, Spanish, German, and other Scandinavian countries, their languages are similar to English, so they're much easier to learn. While the Asian countries and their languages are further away, so they're harder to learn. So that's your Chinese, your Japanese, your Korean.
Definitely, it depends on what your first language is. Yeah. If you grow up. If your first language is an Asian language, English is going to be a lot harder for you because it's on the complete other side of the spectrum, right?
Correct.
But for Europe, for example, there's so many languages that are kind of similar to German, for example. So those would be really easy for me to learn. But for someone whose first language is something completely different, it's going to be super different. So
Right. I've heard that Dutch people can understand German, but Germans can't understand Dutch.
It's weird because random words here and there that I'm like, oh. But then it doesn't make sense overall. I'm like, But probably if I tried learning it, it would probably be really easy.
Yeah. And then like French, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian are also very similar too.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to read number 3 for us?
Yes. So, what languages do you want to learn besides the language you study now?
Okay. Well,
what about you?
So I'm studying Korean. I need to always keep that up to, if I don't use it, I lose it kind of thing. So I always have to study at least once a month, like my Korean, just to keep it survivable and all that. Right now I'm studying actually German, not German, sorry, Russian. And I'm studying it actually because as an actor in Korea, I often get cast as a Russian gangster or mob boss. I just came out with a movie.
I guess you just look like that.
Yeah, that's what I hear. How about yourself?
I would like because there's like around 7-8 languages that I, speak like a bit of. I would like to like get fluent or like to at least like a understanding kind of level at those languages.
Yeah.
Like my mom is from Slovakia.
Okay.
So my grandparents don't speak German or English, and they try to communicate with me in like Slovakian. Yeah. And like I understand at least like half of everything that they're saying, but I can't really reply back to them, which is kind of frustrating sometimes. So I would like to learn that eventually at some point. Obviously get better in Korean too. And then Spanish, I used to study in school. But probably all gone by now.
It must be hard, like listen to your grandparents, like going, whatever. I can't even do a Slovakian accent, but I'm like, you're just smiling. Hopefully that's a compliment.
And then I'll be like trying to reply back in like English, but they don't understand English.
Right. Yeah, I had that problem with my grandmother because she did not speak English very well. But even like her French was a different dialect of French than Montreal French. Let's look at number 4. Can you swear in other languages?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Give us your best Korean curse word.
My best Korean curse word? 개새끼. 그런 거?
You did it with even with 애교, like you're swearing at your boyfriend.
개새끼야. 아이고, 뭐 하는 거야?
I mean, when I meet people from other countries, that's the first thing that they teach you is curse words. So, like for me, I've been cast as Russian, so the Russians taught me some swear words. So like suka, which is like fuck, oh shit, fuck,
Suka.
But then my Italian friends taught me stagazzi. Which is like God, kind of like God, you're fucking crazy.
It sounds very like elegant though.
Yeah, I think you have to do it because it's Italian too. You have to use your hands.
Vincenzo.
And then but also French, right? So I'm French Canadian, but our curse words are different than Paris French, France French. So in France, like shit is merde, like mange de merde, eat shit. But
je ne parle pas français.
Je ne parle pas français. I speak. But then Montreal, we don't even say like the English. Like they say tabernacle, which means like fuck or shit. But it's actually a religious word from the church. So it's like tabernacle.
You're saying that with kind of like an English accent. Like, tabernacle.
Tabernacle. It's not really a curse word, but it is a curse word. I don't.
Like a light curse word.
People from France
like
hate
a shit.
Yeah, but people from France hate hearing it because it's like, well, that's not even a real curse word.
Not even a curse word.
Yeah. Good. Let's look at number 5. Why are you studying other languages? So you know a few languages, yes?
I personally think that if you're just monolingual, you kind of have a very limited worldview, like one-sided worldview. And I think the more you get to like understand and speak other languages, you kind of you get to see the world from like different angles, kind of, and it like opens up your entire like experience.
I like that word, monolingual. But instead of like bilingual.
Monolingual. There's a lot of monolingual people.
Yeah, so like in North America.
In America, definitely.
That's definitely
not in Europe.
Not in Europe, no, but
I've never met a monolingual in Europe.
So well, like during my childhood, and even like everyone was like monolingual. Like even though there's like some people that could speak French, they didn't speak it very well because they only learned it in school, right? But then
like
once
school Spanish.
Yeah, exactly. But then once I came to Korea and I met other people from other countries, I got like a passion for language and like how beautiful different languages can be, because by learning other languages, it also opens up the world too.
Also, I think like there's some languages like Korean, for example, that are so like nuanced in their meaning sometimes that like sometimes you can't really express certain things in English as well as you can in Korean, I feel like.
Right. I think, so like here's an example too, is like when you have food, right? Like before you eat, other cultures have like special words before they eat, like French, bon appetit. Korean is, 잘 먹겠습니다. I'll eat very well. Like, and then Japanese is ikitakimasu. But it doesn't exist in English.
There's a lot of things that don't exist in English. Yeah. Like, even if I have friends, like if I have friends that speak Korean and English, sometimes if I'm trying to really express something a certain way, I'd just be saying it in Korean. If I know they understand it, I'll say it in Korean because it's more, nuanced. It expresses it better sometimes.
It really opens up your brain to having different languages.
That too, I think. Yeah.
Can you read number 6 for us?
Yes. When you study a language, do you like to study reading, writing, speaking, and listening?
So when I study, I would focus more on the speaking and the writing.
Definitely.
Listening's very hard. Yeah.
I think I learn the best when you kind of immerse yourself into the language. Like either, again, if you're actually like in the country and you get to talk to people, like also you don't necessarily have to understand everything, but it's just sometimes your brain will like just kind of connect the dots, Yeah. I don't necessarily like sitting down with a book and like actually studying. Like I'd rather like watch videos and stuff like that. I think that helps so much more. Yeah.
YouTube really helps these days
definitely
too.
YouTube.
Yeah. So I like speaking and immersing myself. So it's more the speaking and the listening, right? Instead of the technical stuff, reading and writing. That's
writing.
for nerds. Number 7.
Yes.
What techniques do you use to remember vocabulary?
Ooh, I actually heard that you can memorize stuff the best if you read through it right when you wake up in the morning.
Okay.
And right before you go to sleep. Apparently, because your brain is like kind of like in the morning, your brain is kind of still like half in
dream world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently that works better. So I've started doing that. I forget a lot lately, but I have like my little vocabulary book, and like before I even like check my phone, I like read through it right in the morning, like half asleep. It does work, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was going to Solgang for Korean, all my classes were in the morning, and I found actually studying in the morning was easier than actually studying in the afternoon, because I guess my mind in the morning, my mind's still like is just trying to understand the world, but then by the afternoon, basically I'm just in fun mode, so my brain's not focusing on actually improving. It just it's just focusing on entertaining itself and wants to have fun.
I can see that.
Could you read number 8 for us?
Yes. What dialects does your language have? Ooh, well, I'm from Austria.
Okay.
So we speak German, but we speak Austrian German.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I don't really speak Austrian German. Like people in Austria always think that I'm from Germany because I speak very like German.
Yeah, but also you lived in the States, correct?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Austria though for like 18, 19 years of my life. Okay. But it's just that because I'm an actor, I would go to Germany a lot for like filming stuff too sometimes. And my mom is from Slovakia, so she speaks pretty German.
Well, when I was looking at your acting reel too, you had like the whole California on, like girlfriend. Oh my god!
Dude, oh my god!
You need to break up with him, and you need to do it right away,
break
girl.
up with him right now. Yeah, because then I moved to LA. I've lived in LA for like 3 years, and then I moved to London actually for 1 year, and then I went back to LA.
Yeah.
But London, like even after that 1 year, like I can't do the British accent. I just can't.
I can't.
Like if I start doing this in front of a British person, like what are you doing?
What are you doing? You taking a piss, are you?
Yeah. And sometimes even after a year, I would just not understand what they're saying.
Yeah. So for English, dialects for English, there's so many because it's everyone in the world just uses it. I think like the main ones are the North American accent. Then the British one, which we just tried to do. Then you have the Australian.
Right. Oh, I love Australia.
But then for French, Like you have the Parisian, you have like the Morocco, then you have the Quebec French. But even my father's French is not Quebec French. It's Acadian French, which is more
Acadian.
Yeah, which is like kind of the East Coast, like old French.
Okay.
So it's similar to even like the Louisiana Cajun French that's used in the States. So I remember, I remember when, as a child, we were going to Montreal, and I'm like, oh, Daddy, we go to a restaurant. I'm like, Dad, can you speak to the waitress in French? And he's like, okay. And then like, blah, 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 French. And then she's like, that French. And then he's like, well, you know what? Forget it. I don't understand what you're saying. Let's just speak English.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know about all the like French accents, but dialects, not accents.
But yeah, it's a different dialect. It's I guess if I had to compare it, it'd be like Seoul Korean versus Jeju.
Jeju?
Yeah, Jeju Korean. Yeah, it's not the same at all because like I guess the Acadian even has like certain letters that don't exist in regular French. Yeah.
What does Jeju Korean sound like?
Oh, I don't even want to step on that.
Oh, wow, I've never really been to Jeju.
That's a grenade I don't want to jump on.
Right.
Number 9. Does one of your family members or friends speak a lot of languages?
All of my family members and friends do. I think because I've lived in so many different places. I've lived in 4 different countries. So I have so many friends from like everywhere. And yeah, they speak a lot of different languages too. My family too. My sister lives in Japan, so she's fluent in Japanese. And and my mom is from Slovakia, obviously. And then I think my dad's probably the only one who mostly just speaks German. And a bit of English with like a German accent.
Yeah, so my father's bilingual, so French and English. But then, the rest of my family, they only speak English. A lot of my Canadian friends only speak English, a little bit of French. But a lot of my foreign friends actually in Korean speak multi-language. So, and I'm surprised. Like my good friend, his father's Norwegian and his mother's Filipino. Ooh. So like in his household, he was speaking English, Filipino, and Norwegian. Wow. But even that, like he also speaks Swedish, a little bit of German too, and he's studying Korean. So I'm like, what the hell? This is so strange. So if you speak one language, monolingual, 2 languages, it's bilingual. Then when you get up to 6, it's called polyglot.
Yeah.
And then I think it's 10 or more, then you have super polyglot.
Life goal, 10 or more. If I were to actually get fluent in all my 8 languages, that'd be so cool.
I wish you
2 more left. I need to pick 2 more.
Don't worry, you're still
maybe
young.
like Thai or something. I would love to.
Sadika.
Yeah, I honestly would love to. At some point, just like at least like basics to like communicate with someone, you know.
Do you want to read the last question for us?
Would you like to raise multilingual children? Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, apart from the fact that I don't want children, but but if I did, I would 100%. I would never raise them monolingual. That'd be so embarrassing.
I mean, for children, like having dual languages or even a third language, that like even in school, with it, they could see math problems at 3 different angles.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny because even though like English is a lot more comfortable for me now, there's certain things like maths that I could never do in English.
Oh, really?
Just because those things you learn them in like your first language in German. So if I have to like calculate stuff, automatically my brain calculates in German.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's like certain things you can't like relearn like that.
Here's a question then. When you dream, what language do you dream in?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. I think probably English.
English? I've had...
Like, I think that I think in English.
Yeah, I think in English for me, but like I've had dreams where I speak Korean and...
Oh, yeah, that...
And
probably,
like I can't read
then.
in a dream too. Like you're not supposed to be able to read because it's just subconscious. But yeah, when I see English in my dreams reading, I can't read it. But then when I see Korean for some reason, I can read Korean in my dreams.
I barely ever remember my dreams. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
So sad. I should.
Well, that wraps up all 10 questions on the topic of language. If you have further questions about culcom, you could visit them on their website at culcom.co.kr. I've been Jeff.
and Taya.
Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.